Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Spiritual Superpowers. I'm Caron, this is Dawn, and we've got another great episode for you today. We're going to talk about something called Rife Resonance Therapy. So Rife Resonance Therapy is something that I've been doing to help treat my cancer. And if you watched a previous episode where we did some pendulum work to decide what treatments would help me the most, Rife Resonance Therapy was one of them, right?
Yes. And we'll include a link up above for you to check out that episode as well.
Yeah. So to explain what it is it's basically using sound waves and sending sound waves through the body to break up cancer cells. And when I first heard about this treatment, I did some research on it and I found an amazing YouTube video. We'll put a link in the comment box. And it was a music professor who came up with the idea, can sound frequency affect the body? And so he did his own experiments and he found that cells were affected by different frequencies. So then he wondered if it could be used for treating disease. And so, again, he did his own experiments with some scientists, and they tried different frequencies with cancer cells. And then finally, they went through all these frequencies. It took them forever, but they finally found some frequencies that when they put the cancer cells under a microscope and bombarded these cells with the certain frequency, the cell just exploded.
That is so cool.
So we'll put a link to that in the comment box, as I said.
Yeah.
But out of that, they developed a device that could send sound frequencies through your body and very specific sound frequencies. When I did the research, there were other people that were kind of developing the same thing. So there's several different devices out there. And I think some are better than others. But anyway, it's a treatment that I'm doing. So I want to show you a video of me getting a treatment and talking to, the person that I go to and let her explain a little bit about the device. So hi everyone. I have with me today Atrielle.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Rife Resonance Therapy. But before we get into that, Atrielle, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I actually started off with this work through learning about magic. So I took a course with a mentor about doing magic and being psychic. And through that, I learned how it is basically the same thing as this kind of technology, because you're affecting a change on something at a distance. And so that is how this works, is through quantum entanglement. So when I started on that journey, I enhanced my psychic abilities and became an energy healer, as well as using quantum healing technologies and basically doing it as the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's really interesting. There's so much more that we could talk about, but maybe we'll leave some of that for a future episode.
Sounds good.
But let's get into the Rife Resonance Therapy specifically. So how does it work?
Okay, so it started off with somebody named Royal Raymond Rife in the 1930s, and he realized that by measuring the specific vibration and frequency of different cancer cells, he could use that exact same frequency and vibration to make the cancer cells oscillate so much that they imploded and died. And so he was given 13 terminally ill cancer patients, and he cured all of them. And I know that in that industry they don't like the word cure. But from that, people have worked with the technology because it was destroyed. They have worked with the technology and they have created protocols for almost anything you can imagine. So there are different protocols for cancer, for mental health, to mimic certain things, so the high vibration frequencies of different essential oils. You can do detox and deal with allergies. I mean, you name it, it's basically on there. And so the way that it works is through the frequencies by scalar waveforms. This can be done through contact, so TENS pads, which is what we've been doing. They can be done through the pulse electromagnetic frequency device that you hold, or plasma devices, as well as scalar devices, and cold laser as well. So there's many different ways to do it. And then remotely it works through quantum entanglement. So quantum entanglement being that if you have the DNA of somebody and you put the DNA in a little black box and you send that frequency to the DNA of that individual will respond immediately, faster than the speed of light, and they could be on Mars. We can do things remotely, and it's very real. Energy healing remotely is real, and it's been scientifically proven.
Right. So, yeah, and scientifically proven a lot, you know. So, and I think finally we're catching up to those ideas. But it's just taking time, right?
So I do think this is the future of medicine. I think that eventually we will be in a place where we can use these technologies without being invasive to the human body, and assist people in healing. So I think this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Now, did you use it for your own healing though?
I did.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
I started with the Detox program, which is something that I recommend for everybody. And it's an 11-day detox program that does literally every single thing in your body. Detoxes from metals, toxins, chemicals, etc., parasites, you name it. And when that happened, I think I released the calcification of my pineal gland, because I started seeing different lights and having pigmentation come to my skin, and the pineal gland is part of developing the melatonin, as well as serotonin and DMT. So through that detox, I felt so much better, and I started to run again for the first time in years. And after that, having the technology, I've used it many different times. So I did use the Lyman Morgellons program, which is 78 days, and weird things started coming out of my body.
In a good way.
In a good way. But it was my body releasing all of these things that it was unable to otherwise. So being able to allow these things to exit the cell walls and come out and really detox the body to get to a higher state of health. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. So are all Rife machines made equally?
No. There are many different kinds. What I have is called the Spooky 2, which sounds silly, but it is named after Einstein calling quantum entanglement spooky action at a distance. I really like it because you can research anything on there, you can look things up and they will come up. It's all set up for you, and it has all these different ways to use it, whereas other Rife machines you have to find frequencies and just input them. And I think with human error or lack of knowledge in these areas that it could be detrimental if you don't really know what you're doing. So I do recommend the Spooky 2, but there are many different kinds and different ways of doing this. And
so the protocol that I'm on, I have these electrodes attached to me right now. I'm getting a treatment right now. But so I'm doing a colorectal protocol and a detox protocol. I've discovered that a lot of the reason why I have cancer is because I have a high toxin load in my body. So I'm doing a detox protocol as well. So
yeah, because it's so important, along with these cells that are going to be dying and leaving your body, that you have that alkaline body for them, and that you give them a place to exit, that they can be detoxed, or you can actually become more toxic. And that's why with this Rife machine, it has the 2 TENS pads, because one of them is actually assisting with detox at the same time that the other one is working on killing certain pathogens.
Well, this is so amazing. I am so glad that I found you and this treatment. And I think, we have to add a little disclaimer here that this treatment is a great treatment to do, but you have to do other things as well. So it's something that you want to talk to your naturopath about, or your healthcare professional, and use it in combination with other things. It's not, the magic silver bullet that everyone is looking for. But I think in combination, it can be an amazing treatment for not only cancer, but autoimmune. Or you were telling me that this protocol can also be used for COVID.
Yes. So when COVID came out, they started developing protocols for each strain that was mutating, basically, and they updated it every single month. So there are a lot of protocols for COVID, as well as detoxing from certain things that came along with that whole fiasco.
Yeah. Well, this is just wonderful. I'm so glad that I met you, and I'm so excited about this technology and kind of talking about this and bringing this to other people. So if people want to come and do a treatment with you, how do they get in touch with you?
I have a website called ditadawn.com.
You just saw Mira and Enki's around here as well.
Yes,
and,
lots of animals.
lot of animal energy here in the room.
Absolutely. They are healers themselves, right?
Yeah.
So, I have a website called ditadawn.com, DITTADAWN.com, and my name is Atrielle, so I can be reached there.
Great. Well, thanks again. So, what are your thoughts on all of that?
Well, I definitely think that sound and vibration is the way of the future.
Right.
For treatments and healing.
Yeah.
I know that there is so much research being done, has been done for over a century, but then now with that research, people are taking it further and recognizing the benefits of it. But like you said, and like it's important for you, you have to actually get the right vibration. You have to find that match. I've known other people to go through the Rife Resonance machine treatments for Lyme disease. So I don't know if you found there was a lot of research online for Lyme disease as well. So this is the type of machine that can be used for anything.
Yeah. Including COVID. Including COVID vaccination.
Oh yeah.
So it's really fascinating.
Mainstream doctors discovered the effectiveness of homeopathy pretty much through the same way that they discovered sound.
Right.
Yeah. So now homeopathy had been around for a long time, but basically it's putting the vibrational match into the water molecule because water holds memory.
Right.
Yeah. So there's just so many options out there for sound. And what I like about the Rife machine is that you have the treatment. You don't have to keep taking a tincture. You don't have to stay on top of taking the homeopathy, right? It's just you get the treatment and you're a different vibration after you leave. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah. But it's not something like that you have to do homework like you do with a homeopathy, right? So it's a little easier.
But the cool thing is, if I can't make it there for a treatment, we collected some of my DNA through fingernail clippings and hair follicles, and Atrielle puts it in a little box and sends the sound waves through that little box. And then it affects my own DNA wherever I am. And that might be a bit of a stretch for some people to accept. But we know through, our distance,
Our experiences.
treatments and our experience and that sort of thing that does have an effect.
Yeah. And if you are skeptic and you'd like to learn the science behind it that validates treatment at a distance, I highly recommend looking into quantum physics, specifically quantum entanglement or spookiness at a distance. It's where two particles can be separated at any distance and they simultaneously affect one another.
Yeah, it's so cool, some of the experiments that they've done. And treating one molecule, they divide them, put one molecule like miles away, and then treat one, and they see the effect on the other one. It's so cool.
Yeah, and so Einstein called it spookiness at a distance. Yeah, so it's a science that's been around for a long time. It's just, it's, I guess, still considered out there. But if you are skeptic and you're like, this doesn't work, this doesn't make sense, check out some quantum physics.
Yeah.
We'll maybe even include some links below as resources for you to see the science behind it.
Yeah. So I feel that this sound wave therapy is helping. It's not the only thing. It's not that, silver bullet treatment, but in combination with the other things that I'm doing, I think it's going to really help. So
yeah, and it showed up with the pendulum that we checked. It was a combination of treatments. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you to Atrielle for allowing us in her space and to talk to us about her Rife Resonance machine. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So good luck with your treatments.
Yeah. Thank you.
For those of you might want to look into it yourselves.
Yeah. So if you like this video, make sure you give us the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so, and of course hit that notification bell so you don't miss another episode.
So thank you again for spending your day with us, and we will see you again next time.